Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Before I start, if I seem a little out of it, it's because I've been up all night, throwing up, basically. But anyway, these things are said to try us. So if I vomit in the sort of mid-video, please don't take it personally. Nothing to do with you. I made a video yesterday about Tyson Fury and the sad news about his wife having a miscarriage. And quite a few people left comments, which I knew would happen, saying they don't believe that this happened, or the cynicism of him mentioning it now, And now, look, Tyson Fury has in the past talked an absolute load of crap, but I'm not going to second guess his sincerity over, losing a child. That's a horrible experience. But I think it does kind of speak volumes that people are sceptical, because it's the old boy who cried wolf, isn't it? Tyson, I've never met him. I know he's talked a load of shite, but if something like that happens, I'm not gonna go there. I mean, skepticism is a good thing, but cynicism isn't, and the two are often confused with each other. Now, I also said yesterday that the press conference didn't reveal as much about Tyson Fury, because he was respectful and he seemed to be stable, which is not necessarily, in fistic terms, a good thing for Tyson Fury. Sometimes you need a little bit of that anarchy going on in your head, a little bit of things, crazy ideas pinging all over the place. But I think it's pretty obvious that he knows he can't get inside Usyk's head. He tried all that rubbish before the first fight. It wasn't happening. And, he's kind of wise to it. The mind games against this bloke are pretty pointless. But lo and behold, up pops Usyk. Now, I didn't realise this at the time, because I don't play computer games. I've never played a computer game in my life. Actually, I played a computer game once when I worked in a homeless hostel, right? I played it against this guy who was living at the hostel. And he loved his computer games, and I beat him, and he was really pissed off with me. He was saying, you're saying you never played a computer game before? Yes, you have. You obviously have. I said, mate, I haven't. Anyway, but Usyk was dressed as a character from a game called Hitman? Nothing to do with Tommy Hearns or Ricky Hatton. But he had a black suit on, a red tie, a bald head. Apparently, he was playing that character. There's a little bit of cosplay going on, so I'm told by others. And there was one very funny incident from Usyk, and this sums up Usyk. This is why people like him, and why he's so impenetrable when it comes to his mental state, his mental strength. He had a briefcase on him, and you must have seen it, or perhaps some of you haven't, but he had a briefcase on him, looking every inch the Hitman. Now that I know what the character is, yes, he obviously does look like a Hitman. He opens the briefcase up and he takes out a picture of Tyson Fury with Usyk clipping him. Fury's face is distorted, and, it's a still from the first fight. And he walks over to Fury and asks him to sign it, autograph it. And Fury, to his credit, played along. He said, yeah, no worries. And he signed it. It was, and it was all very sort of, he played along in the spirit of the cosplay, if you like. And this kind of sums up Usyk for me. He's very, very funny in a quiet way. It's almost like silent comedy with Usyk sometimes. But I just find him very, very amusing and very endearing, And there have been times when Tyson Fury is, stable and not, respectful, and he comes across, I think, as being very endearing. I watched a couple of episodes of that Netflix thing, and there were times when he was quite likable. But the problem is, because of all the past history, and I'm not going to go into it again. You know what I'm talking about. He's his own worst enemy, isn't he? Like a lot of people who are emotionally a bit erratic or do have mental health issues. He can be a bit erratic. But Usyk Usyk was Usyk. I mean, he's so funny. Just looking at the bloke makes me laugh. He's got a funny face, isn't he? I mean, I wouldn't say that to his funny face, but Usyk, you got a funny face. Because he's, the eyes are far apart. He's got that gap tooth and gap tooth grin, and what I mean. I just think the guy's brilliant. I really do. And the fact that he doesn't speak much English kind of makes it better, because he does rely on the silent comedy, and yet get him in the ring, and he's a killer. He's an absolute killer. One other thing as well, just when Usyk took the photograph over to Fury's table, side of the table, both at the top table, Usyk walks over, Fury stands up to sign the photo. And yet again, it is so obvious, as it was in the first fight, just how much bigger Fury is. I know that this could be considered a statement of the obvious, but sometimes the obvious has to be stated. And Fury looks heavier as well. I mean, he had a big sort of check jacket on. But he looks like he's going to come in, what was it, in the 260s, late 260s? I can't remember now. I can see him coming in, 280, 282, 283 for the rematch. And maybe with the first fight, it was a case of, light ain't right. Maybe he did lose too much weight, and he's not going to lose that much. But I think in the rematch, he knows what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to get really physical with Usyk and mix his skills up with some real aggression, and maybe even employ a few of the dark arts. I don't know. But, very interesting. Very interesting to see Usyk doing his comedy act. And he didn't break character either. He was occasionally, when he was asked questions, he was very sort of monosyllabic. And I know his English ain't great, but he'd give a sort of little grin, Whereas Fury was doing most of the talking, and it was, I think, for the most part, respectable. I watched a couple of his post-presser interviews as well, and he seemed a bit more like the Fury we've come to expect. But we'll see. I, as I've said previously, I desperately want this fight to happen, but I'm not entirely convinced it will. I can see a Fury pull out, to be honest with you, but I'd be delighted if I'm wrong. And yeah, you see, if Fury was to win, that would pave the way for a trilogy, because it would be one each. And if Fury does win, I want a third fight. Because I'm sick to death of this, he got revenge over so-and-so. Well, technically, yeah, but they're still 1-1. It's like with Eubank and Liam Smith. Liam Smith stopped Eubank in, was it 4 or 5 rounds? Eubank stops him in 9, 10, whatever it was. That's one each. And Smith stopped Eubank before Eubank stopped Smith. So surely, a decider is what's on the agenda. And yeah, there are other fighters that deserve a shot at the title. Don't get me wrong. Heavyweight division's I think it's in pretty good shape. But no, if Fury wins, I want a decider. I want this to be a trilogy, like an Ali Frazier, Ali Norton. I don't want any of this. He got revenge bullshit. But what do you think? As always, leave your comments below, and I'll answer them. I'll have a read. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new, because it helps us out a great deal, and hit the like button. And me, I'm back off to bed. I'm trying to avoid puking up again. Thanks a lot. Looking forward to reading your comments. Bye for now.